We got a big game in Iowa City this weekend. Big game in Iowa City. Oregon plays Iowa. This is the Saturday CBS game of the week. 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 local time. There's no way to sugarcoat this. It's going to be gross. At last check, we are predicting rain again. We're predicting wind again. And temps in the mid-40s. Let me give Dan Lanning a little friendly piece of advice publicly. You got to stop wearing cotton in the pouring rain. That can't feel good. You risk hypothermia. And the game's already going to be hideous. You don't have to feel terrible along with it. So I trust Kenny and the guys up there in the equipment department to make sure we're better equipped this week to deal with the conditions. I know most of you did not watch Oregon versus Wisconsin, but I did. They also played that day in a downpour, sideways rain, gross game. This should be every bit that, except a little colder. Iowa's offense has turned a corner. I don't know if you've heard. Iowa's offense turned the corner, yeah. How's that? Well, they're 4-1 in Big Ten play, and they've scored 38, 37, 25, and 41 in those wins. That means their offense has turned a corner, right? No, it hasn't. They haven't thrown for 200 yards in a game this year. They do not have a wide receiver with over 75 yards in a game. I got to pop the paper for this one. This is so classic Iowa. They have, as a team, 1,061 receiving yards. San Jose State has a kid with more receiving yards than that. Danny Scudero. Good player. More receiving yards than Iowa. So, yeah. It's not like the offense has necessarily turned a corner. Iowa's just doing what they do. They're playing the ball they play, and it's working for them, and they're number 20 in the playoff rankings right now. So this is a big prove-it spot for Oregon. I know what I'm getting from Iowa. Iowa sits there and waits for you to hand the game to them, and then they're really good at taking it. They are not going to go get it. They're going to wait for you to hand it to them, and then they will take it. So do you play their game, or do you play your game? The weather would indicate it's going to be really hard to play basketball on grass here. However, Oregon can run the ball fairly well. Okay, so Oregon doesn't have to sit there and rely on the things that the video gamers out there think Oregon has to rely on. Iowa, already played Indiana just like Oregon did. Iowa dealt with Indiana better than Oregon. So we have a common opponent there. So it can be a very tough out for Oregon. Their last game was 21-7 in a downpour against Wisconsin. Iowa has beaten Wisconsin 37-0 already this year. So there are multiple common opponents here. Penn State as well. Close game against Penn State. So was Oregon. They went to overtime. So if you're trying to understand why this game's spread is only 6.5, buddy, if we looked at the common opponents, you could make the counter argument, why is Iowa not a slight favorite at home? This game, this spread, implies Iowa as about a 9.5 or a 10-point favorite neutral field. So it's a little hefty. Hey, really quick timeout. We'll get right back to the video. Do me one favor. Make sure you're subscribed. It helps us keep the show free. It helps us keep the lights on. It helps us keep doing college football year-round, and we appreciate it. All right, back to the video. Number 52 pass, number 9 rush, number 1 explosive runs. That is Oregon. That's their offensive profile this year so far. Iowa has allowed 1 explosive run all year. So whose game gets played? The number 1 team in the country in explosive runs, or the team at home who's given up one of those all year? Oregon has to kind of make Iowa's game their game, is basically what I'm saying. Forget about the early knockout. That is very unlikely to happen here. Look, if you can go grab a 17-point lead in a game where the over-under is 40.5, you may have scored enough to win the game. So if you can go do that, be my guest and do it. It's far more likely that it gets drug out into the deep end and the score is like 13-9 in the fourth quarter or something like that, and you have just jabbed and jabbed and jabbed the whole game, and then there's like this 3-minute chunk of the game where you got a couple of chances to deliver a knockout blow, and it comes down to whether you land it or not. And Oregon under Dan Lanning has been very good at jab, 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 boom, knockout blow. They did it against Ohio State last year. That's this kind of game. That's the kind of game I expect this to be. Let's take a look at what the model thinks. Oregon is a 6.5-point favorite at FanDuel. We've got it, Oregon -6. This was the one I wrestled with the most all day. From from the examples of these teams I've seen so far this year, not only would I pick Iowa to cover, I just pick them to win the game. So there's that part of me. The part of me that's going to go on the record here is the part of me that thinks Oregon learned a lot from going wire to wire undefeated last year, but then fizzling in the playoff. And I think a lot of their offseason focus there was what it was a year ago in Columbus, Ohio. And that was, let's make sure we peak at the right time. And Ohio State mastered it. I think Oregon has invested a ton of energy and focus into making sure they peak in November. They're coming out of a bye week. If I'm right, then that should begin here. So I'm going to take Oregon very hesitantly to win and cover because I'm banking on a different gear they're able to hit that they haven't hit yet. This is going to be a very difficult game. I will take Oregon to win and cover. I will not bet a penny on it. I'm saving my pennies. And do you want to know why I'm saving my pennies? Because I promised you something Sunday night, because we got it demanded to us by the thousands, and I kid you not, thousands. Well, what, Josh? Like thousands of people don't even beg for oxygen these days. True, but they begged for Christmas gear. So, tonight, in the Pate State store, I am happy to announce the 'Tis the Season collection has dropped. And I'm telling you, of all the designs we've ever dropped in there, these Christmas sweaters will sell out. They unequivocally will sell out. I'm buying Jesse and Bradley one. They don't even know about it yet. Look at the little chuggy woven in there. 'Tis the Season to be chuggy is so brilliant. It's so simple. It's so brilliant. We've got one in there that we can't even picture here. Merry Christmas, you filthy casual, I believe we have in there. Just art, pure art in the Pate State store right now. So it's November 4th. I would strongly encourage you to get a head start on your Christmas shopping because I can't guarantee that those bad boys are going to be there all throughout December. PateStateMaterial.com. I am so proud. I was never into Christmas sweaters. To my knowledge, I've never worn one in my life, so this year will be a first for me. Maybe you feel the same way. It's a great time in the Pate State store.